Have you ever stopped to see your surroundings? And have you asked yourself the question, is this what I thought it would be? And if not, is a change possible? Yes, of course. The importance may lie in the question, what can I and the company that I work for do to change this? And can CSR, corporate social responsibility, be a right way to go?
Well, actually, I didn't know what CSR was. It was just, I came here to Nepal because I wanted to make a difference and do something differently. And there was so much garbage and so much problems, so I started a company that is recycling paper and creates job for people who don't have any job, a fair trade company. And I didn't know the word CSR, and I didn't really know that's what we were doing. It was just, I came here and I saw all these problems and we tried to make a difference. And I really understood this one day where I was making employment contracts. And my employees came in and I had prepared a contract in Nepali, and they were trying to go through it, and then they were ready to put their thumbprint on it. And I realized that they couldn't read and write. So we made a quick decision and decided, like, let's teach everyone to read and write. So there was a school nearby. We went there and we asked the teacher if he could come every day, just 1 hour before work, and teach everyone to read and write. And it cost us about 15 euros a month to teach 15 people to read and write. And the amazing thing was, I thought I was just doing something good. But what actually happened was, we made the company so much more efficient. Because what happened was that when they learned to read and write, our conflicts disappeared. And when they learned to read and write, we could plan the production much, much more efficiently. And that's when I realized that this is how you should build up efficient companies. If you work with CSR, or if you work with social responsibility, the company becomes both profitable and efficient.
So my reason of being in Nepal is to see how a business can contribute to sustainability as well as create a change. But I'm sure there must be more ways to work with social responsibility than solely focus on the environmental situation. And can you give some other examples in practice how you can work with social responsibility?
Well, in my other company, I have an IT company here in Nepal called WebSearch, where we make web applications and iPhone applications. What we're doing there is that the biggest problem you have in an IT company in Nepal or in India or in China is you need to find the right people, and then you need to keep them. And we had a lot of problem with this in the beginning. How do we find them and how do we keep them? But what we've done is we have found out, because the reason that it's so difficult to keep them is that all of them want to go abroad. People in Nepal, they get a university degree with just a single reason, that you can go abroad and you never come back. So what we decided to do is that we find people who cannot afford to go to university. And if they cannot afford to go to university, they cannot afford to go abroad. But we pay for them for 4 years studies. We give them a full scholarship where they get to study in the best university in the country. At the same time, they come into the company and they get to learn how to work in the industry, how to develop websites and iPhone applications. And from there, we make a deal with them that if we support them with 4 years of education, then they have to give us 4 years of work. They get as good salaries as everyone else, but they have to stay for 4 years. And the great thing is that if they stay with us for just 1 year, we have already returned the investment that we put into their education. So this is what happens, is when you really invest in CSR, it becomes both efficient it benefits the people, it benefits the environment around you, and it also benefits the company financially, if you do it practically.
This scholarship that WebSearch now has provided you, what does it mean for you, Russ?
This scholarship has become an important part of my life. I'm taking it as a big opportunity for me. I feel like I'm very lucky to get scholarships like this in company like this. I'm getting to study as well as getting to work. Actually, as part of my contract, I go to college in the morning, study, and then I come to the company. It's like for 1 year type of internship. I learn a lot. I mean, the truth is I learn more than what I learned in college in 4 years. Because what I get to learn here, you didn't get to learn that in college itself. And then as part of the contract, I have to work for 2 more years. But I'm feeling so good, and the working environment is so great that I feel like working for my whole entire life.
Now you talk about investment. How much of your yearly profit do you invest in social responsibility?
Actually, we don't. We don't invest any of our yearly profit in social responsibility. Because the whole idea of social responsibility, I think, is not that you take a part of your profit and you make it into something good. That's very nice, but it's charity. And what we want to do is social responsibility. That means that instead, we try to change the way we do the business. We want to make the business and the company in such a way so that everything we do contributes to making things better. And some examples of that, except for the reading and writing training, is in the IT company. The softwares that we develop, we make applications for public service, for education, for promoting green technology, for people traveling together efficiently using their phones. In the briquette company, I mean, we are making fuel briquettes. That is to replace firewood. So the more briquettes we make, the less trees people cut down, and that's how we make a difference.
Sounds very good for being Nepal, but do you have any suggestions and examples for companies in the Western world to work with corporate social responsibility?
Actually, I think the most important thing is to apply exactly the same kind of thinking. Instead of just taking a part of your profit and giving it away to something, you change the way you do the business. And I have a really good example from an insurance company that I worked a little bit with in Sweden. What they did was that they, for the summer, they recruited a lot of youngsters who needed some summer job. And they let them go around to all the households where they at their client's place. And they just checked if they had a fire alarm installed and if that fire alarm worked. And if it didn't, they changed the battery, they made it work. And their customers became really happy. They really felt like someone came there and cared about them. At the same time, they changed the fire alarm, so next time there was a fire, instead of the house burning down and the insurance company has to pay a high premium, well, hopefully they could prevent it. And this is the kind of things that you can do as a Swedish company. Another very clear example is if you're a newspaper, for example. What matters is what kind of articles you write. If you write about social entrepreneurs who's doing new things, if you write about new innovations and people are trying to change things, then that's what's going to make a difference in the end. Or if you are a normal company, it matters on from where do you buy your products and services? Who do you partner up with? What demands do you put when you purchase something from India or from China about how it's produced? Because what's going to happen is that when you put those demands, you not only get a product that is more sustainable, you also get a partner that you can work with and trust and build a long-term relationship with.
Have there been times where you have to choose between social responsibility and being profitable as a company?
There has been times when I had to choose about being long-term or short-term profitable. But whenever you think about long-term profitability, then there is absolutely no conflict between social responsibility and profitability. The difference is if you want to make a profit over 3 months or 6 months, then there is a lot of times where you have to make a decision. Because if you take our scholarship program, for example, where we put people in IT, then it takes 4 years for these students to graduate and start working for us. So in the short term, it's not profitable, but in the long term, if you do it practically, social responsibility is a way of building up the business. It's always profitable.